Hi, Terry here again. I've been thinking the last weeks, really, about the national and the state dialogue, the way we're talking to each other or talking at each other or against each other. And it occurred to me that there are a couple of perspectives on how we handle people how we interact or not interact with people who have different values, perspectives, beliefs, behaviors than we do. I mean, one approach to this is recognizing that people they are different, they have different perspectives, they think differently, they value different things, they have different beliefs, different behaviors, and what I tend to do is ask, how do I make room for people that differ from me? Or there are those that I have trouble or don't want to or choose to not make room for. For example, people with different beliefs, be it a Buddhist or a Hindu or atheist or whatever. How do I make room for them? How do I listen to them, care for them, even encourage them? Or for those that I choose to not affirm or not make room for in my life. For example, it could be the supremacy type things, the white supremacy, the male supremacy, the Anglo-American version of Christianity, that supremacy. I choose to not make space for that. Or I think about sexual orientation. How do I make space for those with a gay lifestyle or transgender or whatever? How do I make space? How do I affirm them? Can I? But I'm always thinking about how do I expand space to give them room to thrive and grow and experience life in its fullness. So how do I make space? Another version is people that differ from them. How do I win them over, or how do I win over them? It's more of a battle, that people who have a different perspective or people who think differently or have different values, different beliefs, how do I win? How do I win? And I suppose there was a time, hopefully gently and graciously, seeking to convert people to my way of thinking as a way of trying to win them over, much more than being won over by them. Make space for them. How do I learn from them? What can they teach me? Or what from their traditions? Or how do I empathize with them such that my heart can beat with theirs and I can experience life through their perspective? So the two different ways, and as I listen to some of the monologue, it's not dialogue, but monologue from so many folks right now in the political arena, it's much more, how do I win? How do I squelch other ways of seeing? How do I ignore? How do I make that go away? How do I legislate against that? Or how do I make sure that the courts legislate against that? It's not so much, I just can't make room for that. It's just pretty much anything that's different. Anything that anybody who sees differently or has a different perspective, a different lifestyle, we need to win over them. And it's like, it's not the way I think. So sometimes I think when talking about an issue, the issue is there, but there's something behind it. I think of that book, Venus and Mars. We live on talking about gender kind of things, but we're talking from different perspectives. When I say, how do I make room for that? How do I learn from that? And others are saying, how do I win over them? It's hard to get that dialogue together. It can become harsh very quickly. It can put us into corners, or I'd call it tug of war, where somebody grabs one end of a perspective and you feel like I need to grab the other side. But I hope to consciously and find disciplines to seek to make space, as much space as I can, for other perspectives and values. And then also have the liberty to say that that perspective is not loving, it's not caring, it's not open, it's not, well, I confess myself, self-identify as a Christ follower in the way of Jesus. So Jesus is my primary example of what a life full of God looks like, divinity looks like. Making room for those who have a different primary example of what a life full of God looks like, full of divinity looks like. So I self-identify that way, and as a Christ follower in the way of Jesus, that becomes very important to me. Those that don't reflect that way of living, that way of, I have more trouble making room for them. That's why supremacy kind of thing, I don't see that in the way of Jesus at all. I see more and more room, other than those who are judgmental and overly religious, let's say. So I just wonder if that makes sense to you, that different ways of looking, that we need to protect ourselves or win over other ways of seeing, or more oriented toward how do I make space for, how do I affirm, how do I help those thrive who have differences. So that's what I'm thinking about. I don't have particular answers right now, but I'm wondering about that. Talk to you the next time.